My daughter used to be that calm baby who would just grizzle when she was tired, but now it's like she's discovered a superpower, and that superpower is screaming. She's figured out that screaming gets results, and can you blame her? When words fail, actions speak, and boy do they speak loudly. The good news is screaming like this is age-appropriate behaviour and it's a temporary phase. Our little ones are smart. They're always learning and always adapting. They've realised that although they don't have words yet, their actions, especially the loud ones, get our attention. The bad news is often our natural reaction makes it much worse and makes it go on for much longer than it needs to. So let's talk about how to make sure that doesn't happen and what you can do to help your child move past this non-stop screaming phase as quickly as possible. First, keep in mind that they're screaming to tell you they need or want something. It's the only way they can communicate with you, and it works. When your baby starts to scream or whinge, your natural instinct is to rush over and give them whatever they want to make them stop. So the first simple change to make is to pause and try to understand what they're trying to communicate before you jump into action. Sometimes it's going to be obvious. Maybe they're eyeing the bottle intensely as they scream, but at other times you'll need to look for subtle cues, especially in younger babies. They might stare briefly at something, make a little sound or babble, briefly try to reach for an item or point to communicate to tell you that they want that particular thing. Now, when you understand what your baby wants or needs, simply say the word they're searching for while pairing it with a gesture. For instance, if your baby is screaming because they can't reach a ball, instead of instantly handing the ball to them, take a moment, point to the ball and say, "Do you want the ball?" Then as you hand it to them, say, "Here is the ball." Similarly, if your child is tearfully waiting at your feet, before instantly picking them up, extend your hands and say, "Do you want to go up?" And as you lift them, reinforce this by saying up, up, up. By doing this, you're achieving two key things. First, you're teaching your baby the words they can use when they're developmentally ready to speak. Before your baby can form words, they need to recognize and remember them, and this comes from hearing those words over and over again. Over time, this familiarity with words helps to build their vocabulary so that when they're ready to talk, they'll already know which words to use. For instance, if every time your baby reaches out for their teddy bear, you say teddy as you hand it to them, you're helping them to begin to associate that word teddy with that particular toy. And when they're ready to talk, they'll know exactly which word to say. To find out exactly how many words your child should be using between ages 1 to 4, along with what they should be able to comprehend at each stage, make sure you download my free communication milestone chart by simply clicking the link in the description below this video. The second thing you're teaching your baby is useful gestures. Actions like raising their arms when they want to be picked up or pointing when they want a toy provide them with a means to communicate before they can express themselves through words. These gestures act as a bridge to speech, offering a means to convey their needs without resorting to crying or screaming. Over time, they'll learn that these quieter methods of communication can be just as effective as screaming and crying. Now, unfortunately, your baby won't suddenly switch from crying to using words and gestures. It's a gradual process where your consistent input and repetition are key. The more you use specific words paired with specific gestures, the quicker your baby will grasp the meaning behind these words and gestures and begin to use them as well. And the way you encourage your little one to do this as quickly as possible is by praising their attempts. So when you spot them trying a new gesture or a sound like up for up, celebrate it. Respond by giving them the toy that they're hinting at or doing what they want. This shows them that their efforts to communicate are working. They'll realize when I use this gesture or make this sound, mummy and daddy understand me. This understanding motivates them to communicate more with gestures and sounds and gradually reduces their reliance on crying or screaming. So the next time you instinctively go to jump into action at your little one's first cries or screams, pause, work out what they're trying to communicate to you, and then say the word pairing it with a gesture, knowing that you're helping your little one develop essential language skills, and with time, this screaming will pass. Now, in addition to this strategy, there are 10 other simple, stress-free techniques that you can start using with your baby to encourage them to talk. So make sure you watch this video next to find out exactly what these are so you can start using them with your little one today.